So I kind of wanted to talk about subs versus dub. And this has been going on for a very long time. And I never knew it was kind of a thing until like 2 years ago. But when I first started watching anime, it was obviously dub for me. Well, I don't know why I said obviously. I mean, some people probably watch sub first. And before I knew anime was kind of like its own thing, like I thought Dragon Ball Z was from the United States or, like English culture, whatever, westernized. And I didn't realize that, that was anime and it wasn't originally from here. And I didn't realize that until I was like at a high school. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong between watching. Well, there obviously shouldn't be anything wrong with watching subs or dub. Like if you prefer one over another, that's perfectly fine. And I just think you should give both a chance and see how your perspective changes between one or another. Now, excluding Dragon Ball Z, the animes that I have watched dub when I first got into anime was Sword Art Online and Soul Eater. Those were the two that I like. One of my first animes that I started watching, and I watched them dub because I was kind of in a category that I felt that I wasn't able to focus on the show while reading the subtitles, because when I first watched Soul Eater, like the animation was great. I like looking at the characters in the background and just everything about the artwork and stuff. I like looking at the details. And when one of my friends told me to watch it sub, I tried one episode and I was like, well, it's hard for me to focus on that part while also trying to read the subtitles. And it was kind of awkward. Plus, it's like, well, it's just easier for me to understand my own language instead of trying to read subtitles and hear a different language that I've never heard before. So I watched those two series in dub. And those were my main reasons why. I don't know why other people watch them dub. Like, I can't speak for everybody else who watches dub. But I think, like, personally, there's some shows are better dub and then some are better sub. Most, like, especially for me, I watch everything mostly in sub. But there are a lot of things, like My Hero Academia, I watch it in dub. I still watch it in sub sometimes, but most of the time I watch it dub. And Dragon Ball Z was one of those shows that I watch in dub as well. I mean, yeah, in dub. Like, I don't like the sub. So yeah, there's a few good animes that are really, personally, I find that they're really enjoyable in dub. And sometimes if like an anime gets adapted into like dub translated, I watch both of them. Like if I watched it originally in sub, I like to watch it in dub because there's some things that I like how they translate. Because some things are hard to translate into English and it just doesn't work. So they kind of put it into their own words, or things are kind of said differently, which sometimes it can be a bad thing. But like from what I've seen, sometimes it's good what they kind of implement. There was an example. I've seen Sword Art Online both, sub and dub. And I like the English dub, particularly in one episode where I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but it was on, I think it was season 2. I don't remember, but it was Yui. I think her name is Yui or whatever. The girl with the purple hair. And she was fighting Asuna. And I went back and forward between the scene where they were fighting and Asuna was having like her inner dialogue and talking about her past and reflecting like before she was playing like video games and she got stuck in the video world. She felt like she was better, or she was meant to be in that world because she was better at it than she was in reality, or didn't want to deal with that. But the way it was translated in English, I like the way it was said in English compared to like if you read the subtitles, it says something different. But the way they said it in English made it feel more emotional. Like the expression of what was being said, not the way they said it, but the words that they use compared to like their original. So like I just personally enjoy that aspect better. Now, the reason I started watching sub after like I got over the whole dub thing was because like I said, my first anime was Sword Art Online and a Soul Eater. Soul Eater was first, and then it was Sword Art Online. And some of my friends told me to watch Attack on Titan because I was getting into anime, and I was like, I don't like. It's not out in English, so it's kind of like I don't want to watch it. I'd rather wait for this dub to come out. So I waited a few months and still nothing. And at the time, a lot of people were talking about it. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should give it a chance. And it was on Netflix, but there was no dub version for it. So I decided to say, what the heck, I'm going to just give it a try, whatever. I don't know what it was, but the first episode just really hooked me. I was like, the concept is interesting. I was able to focus. I was able to read the subs. I was able to still look at the beautiful like imagery that was displayed, the animation, the artistic style, the visuals, like everything about it, and enjoy the music at the same time. The music was like phenomenal when I was just listening to it. It gave me goosebumps back then. So I remember like watching the first episode and I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. Like it wasn't that hard. Like I was able to focus and everything. And there was dialogue heavy. Like it was really heavy on the dialogue. There was a lot of talk in the first episode. Just like, yeah, it's the interesting concept. I like it. So I ended up binge watching it in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Like I think I woke up around 11 and I wasn't working at the time. I didn't have much work. It was summer. So I think I woke up like around 11 and that's when I watched the first episode, like 11 a.m. And from then I watched like as much as I could until like 11 p.m. You know, I took like eating breaks and all this stuff, whatever. But I know it took me 2 days to finish it, 2 or 3, something like that. Maybe like 2 days and then technically 3 if you count like all the way until like 2 a.m. or something. And I really enjoyed it. I was like so mesmerized by everything, basically, the music, the animation, the concept, the story. And maybe for some people it wasn't something that was that amazing because they've seen anime previously before and like it's probably nothing new. Maybe this concept has been done before, I don't know. But back when I started, it was kind of like, oh man, I've never experienced anime, you know, like this is something new. Like I experienced cartoons from here, but like that's a completely different thing than anime. Like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed and Eddie, Cow and Chicken, Cat Dog, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, The Wild Thornberrys, like, you know, those 90 kids type shows. They were amazing to watch and they were enjoyable. But this was like on a whole different type of level, you know? The only series that I can think that came close to anime quality wise was like Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. Those 2 series were, and Samurai Jack, I think, was from here too. Those are 3 series that I feel, and Samurai Jack didn't really talk at all, if ever. I think only when like that, forgot that monster's name. I need to watch the newest season or whatever. I didn't watch the newest one, but yeah, those are the only 3 series that I can think of that were actually like story wise and animation wise and concept wise at an anime level. Like Teen Titans was a really good show, but that was just like any other type of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sonic the Hedgehog, Spider-Man. And that's not saying that they were bad. It was just simply like they have their own style for some reason. Like I couldn't categorize it into anime, but like Avatar and The Legend of Korra and Samurai Jack, I feel like those can be brought into the anime world for some reason. Like that's just how I feel. Like that quality was just really up there when it came to everything, like the whole concept and stuff. So yeah, Attack on Titan was the first sub that I've ever watched, like the original. And I remember feeling like once the dub came out, I rewatched the dub as well. And I like watching a lot of reaction channels. So a lot of them do tend to watch it in dub simply because it's easier to sort of react and comment over the episode while, you know, hearing what's going on. Like I love watching like the Normies and Blind Wave, and there's a lot of other smaller ones that I enjoy watching. But I know Blind Wave in particular watches everything dub basically because they're having a conversation while the show's going on, and it's going to be hard to write notes while watching the subtitles and talking within each other. And when you're watching it by yourself, you're kind of focusing on it and you're not really talking with other people or whatever, or taking notes. So it makes sense. And so I still watch dubs whenever I'm watching reaction stuff. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with dub. They both sound, amazing. The thing that I like about sub is some people will say that it's overreacting, right? Like, and I guess to some extent, some things do seem kind of overstretched, and I guess that's anime in general. But I don't know, it always felt more emotional, and emotional doesn't always equal like good or whatever. I guess that part is kind of subjective, but it made it seem more realistic to the sense of the way that you express yourself whenever you're angry or when you're upset or when you're sad or whatever you're like going through. Like, say for instance, someone like just killed your whole family, right? And like the expression that you would have within you, you don't seem to express it on the outside. At least most of us don't. But our inner self within our mind or whatever, we're kind of like screaming, we're kind of yelling. And in anime form, they sort of, instead of having that inner expression, they use it on the outside. And we kind of see that perspective. And it just feels more realistic in a sense, because that's how you would act if that would happen. And Dragon Ball Z for me has started it. Like, it sounded really good in dub. I don't know if it's hard to find good dub actors when it comes to anime, but I know Dragon Ball Z has really good ones. Like, look how Goku sounds and Vegeta sounds. And even with All Might, I know he plays the voice of Vegeta and whatever, but they sound pretty good. Like, they fit the voices of the characters that they're playing. And there are a lot of good English voice actors, but I wonder why a lot of the times it feels like they don't pick like the right cast. I don't know if there's just not that many anime voice actors or whatever, but there are a lot of good ones that I've seen, a lot of good dubs. But it's just, in the original language, it just feels more impactful, more meaningful whenever certain things happen. And sometimes the voice just fit better in certain aspects. That's excluded in Dragon Ball Z because I like Dragon Ball Z in dub. I don't know if it was because I grew up with it in English or simply because it just sounds better to me. Like, I don't know, like the fact that, Goku sounds like a girl, and I think it is a girl. And even Naruto, I think it's a girl when the subs. So yeah, it's really like, I don't think it should matter if you watch a sub or dub. The fact that, you're enjoying it, it's really all that matters at the end of the day. But like I said, the reason that I started watching dub was because I didn't want to wait until dub came out. So that's why I started watching Attack on Titan. It was kind of taking way too long. So I told myself, okay, I'm just going to watch it. And I ended up watching it. And from then on, I was like, well, instead of waiting for the dubs to come out for all these animes that are already out, I'm just going to start watching them. So I started watching a whole lot, and I kind of got, for a whole year or two, I sort of got into a lot of romance. It's what I started watching after, like, I went, it's kind of weird because I went like from Attack on Titan and Soul Eater, Sword Art Online, which I guess you can say Sword Art Online had that kind of romance, but then it went into like the harem realm and stuff. But yeah, like I went heavily on the romance, like Blue Spring Ride, Clannad. Heaven's Lost Property is kind of like, sort of, kind of a romance I would consider. Yeah, Anohana. Just a lot of romance stuff. My Love Story is like a really adorable anime. It's like one of the most cheery type, because most of the romance that I've seen are kind of depressing. Even like Golden Time and stuff like that. There's just a whole lot. And I'm pretty sure there's some that I've missed that I haven't seen. But I've seen a whole bunch of romance anime because that's what I started watching after Attack on Titan. And then I went on to like Fate Stay Night. Like, I think they call it shonen. I'm still not familiar with the categories. Like, all I do is just give the shows a try, and whatever I watch, if I enjoy it, I enjoy it. If not, I just move on to the next. I don't really pay too much attention to what like the categories actually mean, like shonen or slice of life. Like what I assume slice of life is just a slice of life, like life is just following the characters or pieces of their lives and aspects, and you're seeing their perspective and how they're living life. The only category that I know is romance because it's self-explanatory romance, right? So romance was one of the categories that I was heavily watching for 2 years. I just don't think there was a lot of romance animes. I think there's more of these other categories than there is romance. I could be wrong. That's just what it seems like. And even Digimon, which is one of my favorite series, the original ones, the first 3 seasons, and I watched that dub. I think it's pretty good dub. I never watched it sub at all. And I'm definitely excited for like the new one that's currently airing. I think they kind of stopped it right now because of what's going on. I'm going to wait until it gets pretty far along to watch it to see if it's as good. But yeah, I never watched the original version, like the original sub. Maybe I should go back and give it a try and see if it's good. But I really enjoyed the English version, like the theme song. I think the theme song is different, like in the original. But the dub, I love the dub and how when, they transform or whatever, Digivolve. Like, I just loved everything about it in the dub. So, yeah, Digimon and Dragon Ball Z were one of the first ones. And I always assumed that they were from here and not, like, some form of anime. But those were my two first. And Dragon Ball Z, it's not like I really paid attention to Dragon Ball Z. It was more like it was kind of on. And I saw it, and I mainly saw it for the fights, not really the story. Like, until I got out of high school is when I sort of revisited Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and watched everything to kind of understand the concept and how the world works and the story and all that. And I think for me, that show is more of a fighting type show, like I like the power levels and stuff like that. Story-wise, it's not really something that's that interesting. I don't watch it for the story. I think if I was watching something for the story, it would have to be the movies. I don't know what it is about the movies, but almost like every Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z movie, I really like animated, not that Dragon Ball Evolution stuff, but like animated wise, I seem to like all those stories. But when it comes to the actual thing, yeah, like the whole Cell sagas and Majin Buu, like all that stuff is cool and it's awesome. But I don't know, the story really, it wasn't something like Attack on Titan or Digimon, like where it was a linear story. I don't know, it's not the same, but it's not that it's not enjoyable. It's just, I enjoy that for different reasons than I enjoyed these other types of series. And I think it's fine as long as you enjoy the show. Like, that's what it's for, right? But yeah, like I've said, talking about Digimon, waiting for it to air like more episodes to see where it's going to go. It's kind of weird that they're super tiny. Although I know they're kids, but they just look overly tiny. I like the new updated animation, like the colors and everything. I only seen the first episode, and it's just different. I don't know how the reboot's gonna go, because I don't think it's like an actual clone. It's like the same characters and the same Digimon, but I think they're changing the story a little bit. They're just kind of remaking it, so it's something different. I wouldn't mind if it was exactly copied from the original, just an upgraded animated version. Like, I wouldn't mind that with the quality that it is right now and enjoying the stories, because I really want to see the Dark Masters. I really want to see the I think it was Myotismon, was it? I don't know. My favorite, I've said this before, if you listen to my podcast, I talked about Digimon before, but my favorite aspect of this was the Dark Masters arc. And I remember watching that as a kid, and my favorite episodes was, I don't know how long it went on. It went on for a long while though with the Dark Masters, because Matt was kind of conflicted with Tai and everything. He kind of felt like, where did he belong? And he ended up going his own way, and he was going through his own struggles, and his Digimon was willing to follow Matt no matter if it was a bad choice, a good choice. He was following him through the end. until he figured it out and he stood by him, like a best friend, because that's what he was. So even if he was against everybody else, he was always going to be next to Matt. So I don't know, that whole arc was really really good when I watched it as a kid. And I revisited a long time ago, like probably when I was 18. And even when I was 16, when the internet was becoming more accessible to, people of all types of incomes. AOL was slow back then. Whenever like someone would call on the phone and your internet would slow down or cut off completely. So yeah, I remember clearly watching all that, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm really excited for this new Digimon series because it's, the original Digidestins and stuff like that. I hope that they do implement the Dark Masters and that vampire guy. I think it was Myotismon, or I could be wrong. I don't know. But I really like all the original villains. And if they're willing to make new ones, it's fine as long as the story's good. I don't mind. But I'm kind of afraid that it's not going to be as good. But I'm hoping that it is. And I do want to see at least the Dark Masters. Even if it's like they look the same, obviously. But even if the story's a little different or a lot different, I don't care as long as it's pretty good. And I hope there's some kind of arc like Tai and Matt happen in the original. I don't know. I really want it to be good, and I'm really hoping that it's going to be good. I'm just going to wait until a few more episodes are out. I don't know, maybe 20, 30, so I can see if I enjoy it. And yeah, I'm not going to wait till it's completely done, but I want to have a baseline of, okay, I'm watching this much and I'm actually enjoying it, so I'll be excited. So yeah, but I went rambling on about a completely different topic. So yeah, dub and sub, watch whichever you prefer. I feel like a lot of people argue for no reason, and it's fine to enjoy one over the other. But I will say, if you're waiting for something to be dub, sometimes it takes a while. Nowadays, a lot of things get dubbed the next day or in 1 hour or 2 hours because they get it ahead of time. Depending on the show, not every show gets the same treatment. Look, we're still waiting for My Hero Academia, the movie. Is it two? No, it's not Two Heroes. The most recent movie, I don't know which one it is, but we're still waiting for the dub, right? I think we're still waiting. I don't know. Maybe I'm behind. But obviously, it didn't come out right away. Just like Heaven's Feel, it didn't come out in dub right away, which I don't watch that dub anyways. So to me, it didn't really matter, but still, I like rewatching them in dub and seeing how it was. Especially if I enjoy the series, why not? But at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer most of the time to watch certain shows. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. As long as you enjoy the series and that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's completely fine. I feel like a lot of people overreact over things that, the dub sounds better or the sub sounds better. Yeah, maybe it sounds better to you, but some other people enjoy certain things a little bit differently than you do to consume the media that they want to watch. And I guess this is kind of contradicting itself, because saying that, one is better than the other, yeah, you're entitled to feel that, dub is better, sub is better. But it's just a lot of the times I see people putting other people down simply because they enjoy one over the other. And I don't see anything wrong with saying, I think this is better. It's fine if you think that's better. I think in general subs are better than dub, but just because someone's watching something that I don't really like, I'm not going to trash talk them and be okay, what you're watching is trash because you're not watching the original, And that's just me though. It's the internet. People are going to say whatever, and it's fine. I'm just complaining, I guess, like a lot of people. And I don't see anything wrong with it. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I still watch both, like I said, especially when I revisit the shows. And since I watch a lot of reaction channels, after I finish watching an episode or finish watching a show, a lot of them do tend to watch it in dub. And I'm completely fine with it. It's kind of cool to see it in a different perspective instead of what I've already seen. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. So yeah, the next anime that I want to talk about is A Whisker in Time. I think that's what it's called. It's going to be coming out, I think in 7 days on Netflix, the movie. So I'm definitely going to be reviewing that, or not. I don't want to say reviewing, because I don't like the word review. I leave that to other people who actually review things well. and critically, but I will be talking about it for sure. From what I know, I think this movie it's just a remake or something. I'm not sure because there's another movie, A Whisper or something, that's from Ghibli Studios or something back in the 1990s. I'm not completely sure. I could be wrong. I'll definitely look into it when I talk about this movie when it comes out in 7 days or 8 days on Netflix. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, so anyways, leave a like, dislike if you enjoyed. Leave a comment on your thoughts about subs and dubs and your favorite animes and what do you like watching them in. Like if you like Dragon Ball Z and dub or sub and whatever, start a conversation. But I hope you're having a lovely rest of your day or night whenever you're listening, and I'll talk to you next time.